Sawadee-ka. Welcome to Hot Thai Kitchen. I am still in Thailand today, and today we are making an egg salad. Now, if you're thinking, that mayo-y egg salad in your sandwiches, get rid of that idea because this is as different as could be. In Thai, this dish is called yam khai tom, and yam is a type of salad. Khai is egg, and tom is to boil. So it's literally a boiled egg salad. Now, this is very different because it's full of herbs. It's very tart and spicy, and it makes a very pretty appetizer. So let's get started. First order of business, eggs. I am using duck eggs today, 4 of them. Now you can use chicken eggs, but my mom's colleagues happens to have ducks at her house, so she brings these eggs in for sale sometimes. So I boiled these for 8 minutes, and now everybody's got their own technique for boiling eggs, and you'll see what 8 minutes looks like in a minute. But by 8 minutes, I mean I drop the eggs in after the water has come to a full boil. Drop the eggs, 8 minutes, okay? Make sure you've got enough water so that when you drop the eggs, the water doesn't stop boiling for a significant amount of time. So that way, your timing doesn't get messed up. So I'll just show you a little technique for peeling eggs. If you're interested, that is. I just crack it a little bit so that the whole thing is cracked. Now, duck eggs, if you're wondering why I'm using duck eggs other than the fact that I have them, has firmer whites and much brighter orangier yolks, which has a stronger flavor. Okay, and then when I go to peel it, I run it under cold water so the pressure of the water helps separate the shell from the egg. And because duck egg whites are firmer, I find them a little easier to peel than chicken eggs. Yep, and you can just feel it when water goes in between the shell and the egg. It just comes out a little bit easier. Ta-da! So now that we've got our eggs figured out, we're gonna do the herbs portion and the dressing. So we're gonna make a little herb salad basically, and it's gonna go on top of our eggs. So I've got a selection of herbs here, and you can definitely change all this, but this is what I have. Cilantro, some roughly chopped cilantro, and some green onions. Now, green onions in Thailand are about the size of chives, because if you're looking at this and you're thinking those aren't green onions, this is about as big as they get here. As with lots of other vegetables, things are just much smaller here. So some chopped up, and then some shallots, thinly sliced. We're eating this raw, so you want to make sure it's not too thick. And again, Thai shallots are really about the size of marbles. And then over here is something called sawtooth coriander. Now, we got this from our garden. It's a sister to cilantro, so it's got a similar-ish flavor, smell, even though it's different. But if you don't like cilantro, you may not like this either. So just a heads up. But it adds a very nice flavor in lap and tom yum as well. This is great. Finally, lemongrass to add some citrusiness to our salad. We also got our lemongrass from the garden. I used about this much, so just about, no, this one was a bit longer, just about 2 inches of the bottom part, which is the most flavorful. We're eating lemongrass, so you want to make sure you chop them very finely, otherwise they're kind of uncomfortable to eat. Then we've got our chilies, and we're gonna start mixing it all up. So I'm gonna mix my dressing in this tiny little mortar here, which I love, and it's tiny little pestle. So we're gonna go in with the chilies. You can chop the chilies, but I like to pound it just so you don't get surprised little chunks. If I pound it until fine, then there's sort of no way you can accidentally get a big chunks. So when you get it to about here, and I know there's big pieces of skin, that's okay, that's not the spicy part. The spicy part is already all pounded up, and then big pieces of skin is easy to pick out. And I'm gonna use this as my salad dressing bowl. I'm gonna go in with 2 tablespoons of lime juice. Okay, mix it in. Now I wish I had a whole lime to show you, but also Thai limes are about this big, and they only give about 1 to 1.5 tablespoons of juice. So you won't even need a whole lime if you're using American limes. And then a tablespoon of fish sauce. And then 2 teaspoons of palm sugar. Now palm sugar, I'm using the type that's soft. As you can see, it's kind of like soft Play-Doh, so it melts pretty easily. If you're using the hard type, you want to make sure you chop it very finely before you mix it, so it melts easily. I'm gonna just mix it until The sugar is dissolved. And then at this point you want to taste it. And it's going to taste pretty strong, but you know, you want to know if you've got the right acidity, saltiness, and whatnot, because you don't want to change it at the end. This is not a kind of salad you can toss and then, you know, add and adjust after it's done, because it's going on top of medium boiled eggs. So this is kind of what it looks like. Ooh, that's spicy. Okay, last thing, dried shrimp. Dried shrimp, I used this in papaya salad and pad thai. I soaked them in some water just to soften. And what I want to do is pound them until they're fluffy bits. If I had my coffee grinder here, I'd grind them in a coffee grinder. I don't even need to soak them, and they'll just turn into shreds in seconds. But I don't have my coffee grinder here, so what I'm going to do is pound them old school in a mortar and pestle. These dried shrimp actually add a really nice umami flavor to this salad. If you don't want to, you don't have to add it, but I think, you know, they make a significant difference. Okay, because they're kind of salty and shrimpy and, you know, something that eggs don't have. So pound it. That's it, you just keep going. It's gonna take a while before they shred. Say you did take the time to do all this. What you would get is fluffy shreds like this. I did this earlier, so that's kind of what you're going for. If you used a grinder, it would be even more fine, but I'm happy with that. Okay, we're almost ready. In fact, we are ready. We're gonna mix our salad. Okay, here's our salad bowl. In goes all of our herbs, our cilantro, lemongrass. Again, I'd like to stress you can customize the choice of herbs. You can customize the amount. And then I'm gonna pour in my dressing. Smells very good already. And then mix it with these tongs that are very large for what it's doing right now. Okay, so that's done. Now we're gonna cut open our eggs. Apparently the best way to cut eggs without smearing the egg yolk all over the place is using a piece of thread or dental floss, but I'm just gonna use a knife today because I don't really care too much about how well the yolk cuts, because it's gonna, because the yolk's gonna get all covered up anyway, which is kind of a shame because it's so perfectly cooked. This is what you're looking for, moist yolks, not too runny, especially duck eggs, because when it's too raw, duck eggs do have kind of a raw smell to it that chicken eggs don't have. So if you're doing chicken eggs, you can do a little, you know, as runny as you like. Okay, so I've got those. I'm gonna cut them all up. When I boil eggs, I always like to do one extra, because if you cut one open and then you realize that, oh, is undercooked or whatever, you can always throw the rest back in and boil it longer. Ta-da! You can cut them into quarters as well if they're a little more cooked. Okay, and then I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put some of the dried shrimps in here and save some for final tossing. So I'm gonna just trying to master the art of even distribution. Okay, so you can already just imagine sour, salty, spicy, lots of umami from fish sauce and dried shrimp. It is just good news on good news. All over it, and let it run to the bottom. Doesn't that look pretty? And it's so easy. Barely have to do anything. Okay, final touch are dried shrimp. Now you can serve this as an appetizer. You can have this with rice. You can have this with, again, congee would be really good. You can do little quail eggs and make super cute, bite-sized yum kai tom. I just came up with that idea. I should have done that. How cute would that be? And that is it. That is our yum kai tom. Now, So there was a little bit of a technical issue inside, so we're here eating outside where it's much nicer anyway. Here we go. They're always a bit slippery, so I always want to eat them in sort of a contained environment. Add a little extra dressing on top. Now this is probably one bite for some of you, but even this is a bit big for me. It's just so good. I mean, if you've never had an egg salad like this, I mean, the idea of an egg salad will change forever for you. This is just a million times better. I can eat this days and never get bored of it. So I hope you give it a try. It's super easy, and if you can't find sawtooth coriander, don't worry about it. Use just whatever you have. Try it out. Let me know how it goes, either through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or through my website. If you enjoy the show, please click to subscribe. And the recipe is as per usual on hotthaikitchen.com, and I will see you next time for your next delicious Thai meal.